Join us on a journey beyond reason, where we have chats and discussions about the in-between and far beyond.
Have you ever felt like using a Ouija board and have been told that you shouldn't use a Ouija board? Well, I've got a story for you, a real life experience. And I can tell you this, that when they talk about cards being things that you shouldn't do, that is the farthest thing from the truth, right?
Correct.
And you have a Ouija board story as well, correct?
Yeah, let me start with mine first because it's shorter than yours.
Mine's long.
But the very first time that I ever touched a Ouija board, I think I was probably around 7 years old or so. And I was with some friends in their house and we were sitting around. I'm surprised the parents let them
Who brought
the
the game out? Was it you?
No, it wasn't my board. It was, I was at a friend's house and a lot of us neighborhood kids were there. And we used to always go over there to play and stuff. And I'm surprised the parents let them have a Ouija board. Obviously, they had no idea what they were dealing with.
That was around the same time as mine. I don't think they knew.
This was probably in the late 60s, early 70s. No, late 60s.
Because we're only a year apart in age. She's older.
I'm her elder. So
it's all on how you look at it. Half full, half empty.
Exactly. But anyway, so we had our hands on the thing on the board, right? And we were asking stupid questions that little girls ask, like, will I ever get married? And what will his name be? And all that kind of stuff. But the thing was moving and it was actually answering the questions. It was really trippy. I mean, and so I kind of lifted my hand up and it was moving and everybody else that was there was saying that they were not moving it. They were not moving the thing that you put your hand on. So it was actually, I remember it was answering questions that we knew were the right answer. I forget the questions, but we got some, and it spooked me. It spooked me. I'm like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And so I never touched a Ouija board again, but I had friends who had stories about Ouija boards. I've had friends with all kinds of stories, but about the Ouija board, I had one friend who says that, she was doing the Ouija board a lot. And then all of a sudden, she would look in the mirror and she would see other entities in the mirror. And so then she got spooked with that and she quit using the Ouija board. So based on that, I highly recommend you don't even touch those things because you don't know who you're inviting in. And there's evil spirits too, I mean, if you don't know what you're doing,
there are some negative energies out
you
there.
You can invite those in and they will. And now that's my experience that I have to share. And I have had friends who have had all kinds of like really spooky, not feel good experiences, like getting thrown against the wall and being lifted up off the bed and being frozen and not being able to move and that kind of thing. But I did a house clearing for them on that and it worked.
But we had spirits before that were protecting us from what unleashed that night.
And I know that in my chart, my astrology chart, I'm supposed to experience that. It's like a shaman kind of experience where the shaman energy is they experience the macabre, the dark, the mystical, and we have to be empowered over it and not be scared of it. And so that's what a shaman does. And so I have that kind of energy experience, especially in my chart. So I had to experience all those things I did and survive it and overcome it all. And so here I am, where I'm not in fear, I'm protected, and I've seen evidence of being protected too. So.
But you're still not playing with the Ouija board tonight?
Never, never. I won't ever touch. There's certain things I don't go near.
So what?
I don't go near. Huh?
What is the power of the Ouija board? Because it's just an inanimate object.
Well, you're going, okay, we're calling on anybody who's near to answer these questions. And there's negative spirits, dark entities who are just chomping at the bit to enter into a body, right? So when you do that, you're like, okay, come on, come and get it. It's like,
I love your personality.
Thank you.
So yeah, when you're a group of people and you pray, it's more powerful, as they say. Whenever two or more pray, God is there, or
Jesus is here amongst us. Yeah,
you'll get your answer, or you'll get
and
more powerful.
I like to use the name of Jesus because Jesus is an active part of my life, and I've had amazing experiences around when I started calling on his name and he revealed himself to me when I was a teenager. Yeah. I mean, it's very powerful. And there's a lot of stories of all kinds of things ending and going away that undesirable.
So it's similar when you're praying together to a positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
In that
when we agree.
In that you are opening your third eye and in a group. And a lot of people don't realize that they're doing that. When they put their hands on the Ouija board, they become open. And when you're open, you're opening that your God-given everyone ability to have psychic abilities. And so you're open that
they're all agreeing. Okay, we're all opening the door to the unknown.
And the board itself has no power. The power is in the group of people agreeing,
in the free will
and inviting in,
and intention,
and wanting to desire, free will, the free will of working together to bring in something that everyone anticipates is what? If they're anticipating it's going to be a good energy, then you're more likely to pull in a good energy. But if it's everyone there wanting to have a spooky kind of scary night, well, you're going to get what you asked for. You are going to get what you asked for.
Oh, I wonder how you know that.
I was not the participant, but I have had my hands on a Ouija board. And I remember thinking, this is just insane after what happened when I was around 7, oddly.
Interesting.
So I'm in my bed. Well, I'll start a little bit before that because it doesn't make any sense if I don't. My parents, we have 6 kids, and my parents wanted to go away, I think, on a date. And they asked my brother and sister, it was overnight. And my brother and sister, the eldest, were supposed to watch the rest of us. And my parents left, and then the eldest just left. And they said, Mom and Dad said you can't have any more than 1 friend each. So we all had 2 friends each. Because that's what kids do, you push the envelope. So I was in my room with my girlfriends playing, I think, Barbies and paper dolls or something like that. And the rest of them were off doing what they're doing. And, I was a lot younger than the rest of them. So I was
the youngest.
I wasn't invited to do a lot of things. And then all of a sudden I thought I heard hysterical laughter, and we were really excited. We're going to go find out what's so funny. And we walked through the hall to get to the living room, and I walked through a spirit, we already had spirits. We already had really, what would you call benevolent? They were loving spirits. One of them came with the house, an older woman, and they were looking after us, kind of. So
they were the babysitters.
They babysat us, yeah. And we got in trouble. Basically, that's what I've been shown, that they were punishing us by allowing some of this stuff to happen.
Oh.
So when we walked into the room, my brother Charles, everyone's looking at the sliding glass door. And there's a lock that you go up and over to unlatch it, because we were kids. They didn't want us drowning in the pool. Well, that's a whole other story. But the sliding glass door just opened. It unlocked and then opened and then closed again. And everyone was screaming and gathering together, freaking out. It kept happening. Lights turning on and off. We actually invited in poltergeist activity into the house that evening. I didn't. I was like, what did you guys do? I'm like, we already got spirits walking around, and I've been seeing them since I was 4, so this was, wow. I didn't know what to say to my friends too, because I didn't want them knowing. It's like, I didn't want them knowing what was going on in our house about spirits. So all of us were so terrified that if anyone had to go to the bathroom, this was a mixed crowd of girls and boys. We all became one cell, all the cells gathering together. We became like this organism, and we moved around as one unit and went to the bathroom all together.
Because you were scared.
No one cared.
Because you were scared of the poltergeist?
Because it was terrifying. Yeah, because it wasn't stopping. Was
this on a daily basis?
No, this was just this night. This was one night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, we already had, no, there was more. But this night, I'm just talking about the
You
Ouija
mean all
board.
of a sudden out of the blue this started happening? It wasn't because
We already
they were...
had spirits,
Okay.
but this was
But this time...
poltergeist activity. This was scary stuff. We didn't have scary. Well, I mean, I guess some people would think it's scary to see spirits walking around your house, but I grew up that way, so
You were used to it.
I was used to it. Yeah, and they felt loving. They tickled me. What can I say? So that was my first experience. So basically, we were all terrified, and I don't remember who brought it up. Doesn't really matter. But we had a child psychiatrist. That was hard to say. Living across the street from us. And we decided to bring him over. Maybe he could fix things. So we opened up the front door, and the moon was full, and there was a ring around it. Oh. Have you seen those before?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like this glow from this ring.
They're really neat. Yeah.
What is that?
Those
Like
are neat,
the atmosphere?
Neat yeah.
And then there was no wind, but leaves were rustling around on the ground by our feet. And we, as one unit of children, went across the street to get him, and we brought him back. And we walked into the kitchen, and the kitchen was a skinny, long kitchen. And as we started to walk in, the burners on the stove went up, and the cupboards were opening and closing, and the psychiatrist he just went, "You guys are on your own. I'm out of here." And he turned around and left, and we pretty much just...
What kind of support
he was scared.
He was scared. Adult? Oh my
He's like, "You guys shouldn't be messing around with..." I don't remember.
Oh my gosh.
He just left.
Coward.
Yes, he was.
You know, you're supposed to...
He was
runs from the children.
I think after that, he was not sure if he wanted his kids to play with us. So I would have to ask my brothers about that. In fact, I mean, I know the kids now on Facebook. I could ask. I go, "Hey, did you guys ever talk about that night?" I did have a friend all of a sudden see me on Facebook, and she goes, "Are you the Claire Rowley with the ghosts?" And I was like, "Yes." And she goes, "I was there the night of the haunting." And so...
Wow.
I never could remember what was the second friend that was over until she brought it up. But she said she never could forget that night. But we went into the living room, and we were all together, and I don't know, I don't think we slept. And then when my parents came back the next day, then my mom would sleep in the living room. We all slept in the living room. We were too afraid to go in our bedrooms. Yeah. But spirit had never been scary before. And I was told we were being punished for doing that.
For doing what?
For playing with the Ouija board.
Were you guys playing with the Ouija board that night of the haunting?
They were, yeah.
Oh, they were. Well,
my brother, my brother Charles, who's in spirit now.
Oh, they opened the door to the poltergeist.
They opened the door, and then the poltergeist opened the door.
And they came in,
close it,
and they were having a good old time with you guys. Wow,
that was a night. That's a night you never forget.
So no one got hurt.
And to this day, people still go there and stare at the house because there were a lot of us there.
Wow.
And
so no one got hurt that night or anything?
No, just scared.
Just scared. Wow.
Terrified.
You're lucky.
And I've told that spirit's agreeing with us. So I've told this story to my children on nights when they wanted a ghost story. And I'm like
a real one.
And then their friends one night, their friends did a Ouija board, and they go, "I need to talk to your mom." And they got themselves, they opened the door to a poltergeist in their house. This is why you do not want to mess around with a Ouija board. I had those other spirits to protect us, and they kind of pushed those poltergeists out and let us have an experience so that we would never do it again.
Because your neighbor's psychiatrist wasn't any help.
Yeah, that wasn't any help at all.
Amazing.
I'm not going to say the names.
To protect.
We did have a miracle happen on that street. There was a young man that was in a wheelchair, and he ended up becoming able to walk.
How'd that happen? And all of a sudden he just started walking?
I remember kids being cruel and trying to prove that he could walk, by doing mean things to him and stuff.
Mean. Sure.
And then one day he was able to walk. So that was a miracle. I don't remember any more than that.
You don't know the details about
I was so young, and they were all older than me.
Wow.
They still are older than me. I used to feel left out. Now I'm like, haha. I get more years on the planet than you.
So was that the only poltergeist experience you've had, or?
No, I mean, in my own house. My brain's going.
Okay.
sorting through all the spirit
Sorting through all the
experiences.
stories.
I have a lot of spirit experiences. Not always at my house, and at work too. Like I worked at a restaurant, and the manager had transferred from another one of these chains, which I'm going to try not to say the names of things.
Okay, yeah.
And he had been, that place burned down, and they were devil worshippers. And I was thinking,
Oh,
this is just, far-fetched. Come on. I didn't really, even though I lived the life I lived, I hadn't seen any demons or anything. So I'd been protected. And, but I did see his demonic face. That was he changed from his face to a demon face.
Oh, so you saw a shapeshifter.
I guess that was what it was.
Was that
he was challenging me, he was saying I was supposed to be his wife. His spirit guide said that we were to be married. He ripped a blessed crucifix off my neck and threw it on the ground. And I was like, hey, you're not supposed to be able to do that.
Is this someone you worked with?
Yeah, it was the manager that I worked on. That was transferred.
God.
Yeah, and then he was telepathic as well. So I'm able to hear all of his thoughts.
Oh.
And he was really abusive. And it sounds crazy if you're not me, but he was like saying things while I was trying to work in my telepathically.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a hard word.
Yeah.
And so I called my brother Charles, who was also a psychic, for those in the family that did not know. Charles and I used to communicate without words all the time. We would arrange to meet at certain places, just thinking it, and we would show up. And so he was very special.
Wow.
And
he still is.
He still is. Yes, he's one of my guides, and he's ascended to another level, and he has like this big cloak, and he's amazing.
Nice.
He's still very active. I gotta guess.
So he's active in your life right now.
Oh yeah, and I send him off to my kids, and to protect.
Nice.
So where was I? Because he's so distracting.
Well, you were talking about the manager who ripped the crucifix off your...
So my brother got me a book called Psychic Warfare.
Oh.
And I learned how to protect myself. So if any of you ever have any entities or anything where you're feeling like someone is using their telepathic abilities to get into your head, you should look into that book. And it's basically just called Psychic Warfare, is what I can remember. I was only 17.
Okay.
So now I'm 61. That's a lot of years. And it taught me how to protect myself against unwanted entities and other people invading my brain.
Can you share any of what you used to protect yourself, what it said to do?
I pray to the angels and pray out loud and expect it to be done. So you have to not be doubting whether or not you're going to be protected, and know that you have the power, that I've been shown that we are God. There's a God or source, whatever you want to call it. And we are a piece that kind of breaks off. And if you go too far from God, you will become more and more feeling of morbid or feeling close to evil.
Yeah.
It's that separation.
The vibration gets lower and lower and lower.
Yeah. And so you want to swim back and keep yourself as close as you can to
the light
source.
The light
yes.
source.
And then you will not. And what you seek is seeking you. So if you use a Ouija board and you're seeking some freaky experience, well, you're going to get it. If you seek a spiritual one, they're probably going to say, don't do this anymore. You don't need to do that. You have spirit with you. You don't need a device.
Or you just know. I just knew.
Mm-hmm.
Internally, I just knew. Stay away.
So my daughter's friends called up and they were screaming, we used the Ouija board. I know you told us never to do it, but we did it. And now we've got all these weird things going on. What do we do? What do we do? And
wow.
Yeah. So I had them pray.
So you're able to help them.
I was able to help them that night. Yeah. And my daughter's like, I'm so glad I'm not there.
That's an example of how curiosity killed the cat. Seriously.
Yeah. And, I warned them. I'm like, this is a story I'm telling you, but you don't want to do it. Don't mess around with those Ouija boards.
Right.
It reminds me of that movie with the game Jumanji.
Oh.
Yeah. You want to take that Ouija board and destroy it. Just make it not exist anymore.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't
absolutely.
do it. And spirit boxers too. People are opening up portals using these spirit boxes. They have no idea what they're unleashing.
I've never heard of spirit boxes.
Oh,
What
it's
is it?
it's a box, an electronic box, so you can hear spirits talking. I can
What?
feel
Do you
the
buy it?
audience getting excited. Some of them are going to be really excited about it.
Oh,
So yeah, like it measures the sound of the frequencies of spirit, and you can detect voices and stuff.
hmm.
So people are using those and bringing in and opening up portals
Mm.
and not being able to close them. So there's a
Mm.
lot of
Yeah.
psychics and mediums that are having to clear or close portals and clear houses of negative energy. But most, from my experience, first off, if you're a medium and you're afraid, you're not called to do it.
Right.
Because if you have fear, then you're the
Can't help
person
fear.
you're the person screaming and running for the door. You know, you're not going to be
Like
able to help
that
anyone.
psychiatrist.
Yeah. So the fear that you feel is what allows that. It's the evil.
Hmm.
So you want to trust that you are taken care of, that you are in a pool or surrounded. You're in a nuclei. You are the nuclei of unconditional love.
And the
And
name
you
of
are
Jesus
supported.
has a lot of power, so
Yes.
you can go quite a distance with that name.
I do say that. I say, in the name of Jesus, Satan, be gone from my heart, my soul, my mind, my house, and all the
That's
people
right.
and all the, I'll expand it out to
Mm-hmm.
a great distance if I feel any negative energy,
Mm-hmm.
especially walking
Yeshua is
around.
good too, the name.
What was that?
Yeshua is another name
Yeshua?
for Jesus, yeah.
I also
I like
say
that.
Raphael, 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 Mikael, 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 Ariel, Ariel, Ariel.
Oh, the angels, yeah.
Come protect us and
Mm-hmm.
stand before us. Yeah.
I like Archangel Michael. He showed up to me when I was about 25. I was having a bad morning and I saw him in my third eye, that he was with me all the time. And he had his sword raised to the sky and he was about 2 mile high. He was very tall.
Is that why you are the little warrior that you are?
Probably because I need
Because
him.
I totally see that armor on you, and
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
the
know.
protector, the warrior that protects.
Yeah, I can be very protective too.
Yes. I would never want
Yeah.
anyone to do anything wrong to me and her to find out.
That's right.
So, are there any other tools that are
Well,
misunderstood?
Well, like the cards, the divination cards and everything, these are tools, right? So it's based on your intention and your free will and who you call on to help carry the message. Okay. So we're messengers. We bring messages to the world from other realms. And so I use these cards because I started using these cards for my meditation practice in the late 90s. And I found them to be very helpful. And I've always been, I come from Christianity and I call on the name of Jesus. And so I'm not, it's like I'm not bringing in unknown entities or demons
we're not
or
doing
anything.
any kind of witchcraft.
There's no witchcraft.
This is love.
Witchcraft, what that is what it does is it goes against natural law and it goes against the free will that all humans are given. So the whole distinction is we respect others' free will and we don't do any attempt to overcome free will and do spells, so making spells so he'll fall in love with me or whatever. That is witchcraft, and that has bad repercussions on the one who practices it.
Bad juju.
Yeah, because what you'll do is you'll reap what you sow, and you'll put on to you some heavy karma where you're going to have to pay for that action. We have to, any action we take, we have to be willing to pay the consequence of that action. So I was always scared of the tarot. I was a born again Christian in my teens and then into my 20s and then I got away from it for various reasons. And in the late 90s, I started using the cards, the angel cards, right? Mm-hmm. The angel cards were safe.
Yeah, you talked about this.
Yeah.
So, and then you evolved into these.
And now
these are divination.
I started learning how to use the tarot cards when I realized that it is my intention and that I can I can use cards for my practice to help people, because the intention I come from is doing my dharma of helping people and being a counselor and helping people to solve the problems and understand their challenges to bring emotional healing. Okay. So I can use the cards for that.
And they're all different.
And I did
Purposes,
share in a
right?
previous episode my question that I asked. I sat with Jesus and I said, Jesus, I'm going to use this Minkyate tarot deck and I'm going to ask you, can I get messages from you using the tarot? And I pulled the Pisces card, you know. I pulled the Pisces. Pisces is Christianity, okay? It's the symbol of Jesus.
One day I'll have it stuck in my head, I hope. For you, you're like, I pulled the Pisces card. I mean, come on. And I'm like,
Pisces is the fish. It's a symbol of Christianity.
yeah.
So it would represent Jesus, you know, in the tarot. So to me, it was like, okay, so it's all good. I can do this, no problem. I know my heart and I know where I'm coming from. And a lot of people that get readings from me can feel that too. So, and I've had a lot of really good results and good experiences for myself and others too.
And then we use crystals a little bit.
We can.
We do
We
that
can use
to
this.
clear
Mhm.
negative energy. And
I use the crystal. I call it my crystal microphone. So you can actually, and I always, you know, when I do a prayer, I always start it with thank you, thank you, thank you, because that shows that I believe that I am going to receive. Ask, Jesus said, ask and you will receive, seek and you will find. Ask and the door will be opened up to you.
yes.
Even if you do a Ouija board, right? It's going to be opened up to
Yeah.
you.
And then I always say, set my ego aside so that I hear what I'm supposed to hear.
Yeah. The
Not what
ego,
I'm thinking I
Yeah.
should hear.
the ego can get us in trouble.
Yes. it
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, and so thank you, thank you, thank you. I ask that our viewers get blessed by the messages and the chats that we have, and that they receive blessings, peace, love, and joy in their lives on a daily basis.
Do you have time to talk about
And
these two
so it
cards I
is.
pulled?
Thank you,
'Cause-
thank you, thank you. Yes. So the blank card is basically is going to be revealed. This is like a seed, like it's germinating. So something is germinating.
That reminds me of my chart and that empty piece of pie.
Oh, the empty house that doesn't have any planet.
Yeah.
Well, that's where we look at the ruler or the Lord. So this would be the magician
The
in the
magician.
mirror. That's really awesome. So there's some magical things getting ready to happen for you.
For me or for us?
Let's say us and for our viewers.
Because
I don't know what your question was. when you-
Whatever. I don't remember asking one. I just think that
Okay, so then we'll say this is for the viewers and us.
I was asking about that each type of card has you have a different reason for using the
Do you want me to
type
go
of
into
cards.
it?
Well, we have a few minutes.
Well, what was
Yeah.
interesting is that as I was requesting our viewers and us to be blessed, you pulled these cards. So it goes hand in hand. It's a combination. And so this is the seed germinating, right?
magic in your
There's more to be revealed. More is coming that we haven't seen yet. And magician in the mirror. So the magician and the mirrors, when you look at yourself and you're reflecting back at yourself and you're contemplating yourself in your life. And the magician is magical.
And
right?
you don't need a Ouija board to create magic in your life.
No.
That is not the kind of magic you want.
Nope.
We hope that you enjoyed taking this little journey through the negative aspects of some of the tools that are used to communicate with spirit, and that you realize that you have the tool. It is just your unconditional love and trust that you are more than just your body.
Mm.
Right?
Aho, yes. And so it is. Shall I pull a card to seal that in?
If that is what you're
The
compelled
energy
to do.
cards are calling Angel of Balance. And I pulled that earlier too. So finding balance in our lives
Awesome.
with using the right tools is beautiful. That's what we all need and want. So please hit the like button and
Leave your
subscribe.
comments.
Yeah, we want to
Ask
hear
your
from you.
questions. Tell us your Ouija board stories.
Yeah, tell
my
us your
gosh.
stories
We
and
need
your
help.
experiences.
We need to help people not use them. And we will see you next week.
All right. See you, everybody.